Hi, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to learn about how to use the third-party key pair to launch the EC2 instance. Generally, AWS EC2 instance are launched using the key pair generated by Amazon. But what if you want to make it more secure and you want to have full control over your public key and private key, especially the private key? So in that case, you can use the tool. There are several tools, but we are going to stick to ssh-keygen for today's lab. So let's have a look. There is no conceptual information required. We'll just go through the implementation, how practically we can achieve it, and then we'll wait for your feedback. So I assume that you have already having the ssh-keygen install, so you can check the same in the Windows if you're running. So that should start and ask you some input. So I'm going to use a first clear out so that we see afresh now. So then we say -t and then choose the algorithm that we want to use. So for our instance, we're using the RSA, but you can use DSA or something else. The size of the key that you want to keep it. Using the key size as a larger size is 4096, and then we can give a file path here or hit enter, and then it will ask us to give the file. I'm going to give a file name as my keypair, and I can tell my keypair PEM here, and I'm going to skip the passphrase, but this is going to make somehow more to your key. So if you want to use a passphrase, you can type some ask you to repeat the same. I'm skipping, so I'm just hitting the enter twice to get rid of this passphrase. But this is required to practice the passphrase while you're generating for production keys. So definitely this is for security. So don't skip while you're generating for productions or staging. The key is generated. We can just see over here. There are two files has been generated, which is the first one is the private key, and the second one is public key, which is having the .pub as an extension with the file name whatever we have given. So this is the part one, or the first part. So we have a key, and then next thing what we have to do is to go to the AWS Management Console. So you are already logged in, and then you can locate EC2 from the compute, and then in a left navigation pane, you should be able to see after the scroll a key S, which should be under the network and security. So just click over the key pairs, and then import the key pair, the one that we have created just now. So the public one has to be imported here. What we are going to do is we are going to browse the file and keep bring that public file reference here, so that it will import the public key file of the key pair that we have generated. Alternatively, you can open your public key with text editor and copy paste the content. So this is the second option, but we are going to choose the first one, and we are going to locate the file system where we have the newly generated key, so which is in the users needed, and should be somewhere here. Yeah, so this is the one, and the one that we have to browse is the .pub. So the public key goes into your AWS EC2 instance once it is launched, whenever it is launched. So eventually the file that you browse will be copied into the text editor you see here, and then just for your confirmation, so that things goes well, there is nothing wrong with anything. So then you can click on import, and then you will see your keypair is imported. And next thing is to test the keypair works. So for that, the part 3 is to launch the instance and see that that particular keypair that we have launched, we have imported, that works. So what we are going to do is we are going to launch an EC2 instance with whatever eligibility we have for the free tier account. The first one, the Linux AMI that I have selected, and the T2 Micro, which is the eligibility for the free tier. And then I've just changed the auto assign public IP to enable, because I need to connect to this EC2 instance from being in my local laptop. So for that, I need to have the public IP. By default, the EC2 instances will not have the public IP if this flag is turned off. So if this is disabled, auto assign public IP is disabled, then you will not have a public IP. In that case, alternatively, you can create the elastic IP and associate it. That's not a context right now, but just one information. We can skip all of this because you just want to test the key. So for testing the key, we will be good with the SSH transit port, which opens for all, which is for entire anywhere. And then we have nothing but to launch it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm choosing the one that is one I have uploaded recently. So my keypair is the keypair that I have generated using the third party, and I'm using the same thing. Acknowledge and then launch, which will take a couple of seconds to make the instance fully warmed up and running for me. So it is warming up. A couple of more seconds and we should see it in running state. Okay, so meanwhile, just to understand the keypair that we create or we import, either of them are going to stay into a specific region. So the visibility for those keys will be only specific to the region, but the key that we have generated, we can use it for any other reason. Only thing, we have to import the same keypair again and again in a different region. So now the instance is up and running for us. So let's go and connect over the SSH using the same key file. So this is what I'm going to copy and go to the place where my PIM file is. So just paste the command and connected, and this is where my EC2 instance is, and this is the connection. So I'm already connecting to the EC2 instance, which has the public IP address as a 172.31.0.159, which is over here. You can verify the same. So this is my private IP. Sorry, it's a private. That's a private IP. Yeah. All right. So that's all about this session. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, so just give a like to me so that I can bring such real-time solutions. Thank you.